Ever since the release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker's trailer number 3 that made its debut on October 21st on ESPN during Monday Night Football, a lot of fans either felt very underwhelmed or very excited about what they witnessed by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about the third trailer is that a lot of fans were very underwhelmed about what they actually witnessed because it wasn't as revealing as it was of the second teaser trailer with Dark Rey and the double-bladed red lightsaber and stuff around those lines. Now, here we are on November 20th. This is literally the peak of when the marketing of Episode 9 begins, where, of course, they're going to drop a lot of TV spots. They're going to eventually drop that fourth trailer, also known as the International Trailer. Now, with that being said, alright, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Rey and Kylo Ren are said to be fighting on the world of Kijimi, where both Rey and Ren are engaging in a lightsaber duel as they make their way up to the Thieves' Tower up a set of stone steps. This is said to take place during their flash fight in the film, where they are both really in different locations. It's explained that the shot is actually said to unveil a sequence in which Rey kicks Kylo Ren where he tumbles down a set of stone steps. It's noted that in the shot, Rey is said to appear angry, where Kylo Ren is then said to use the Force to lift Rey's body up and pull her down towards him before the shot cuts to black. This is where it's said that a brand new theme by John Williams plays in between that is actually said to be a mixture between Rey's theme and Kylo's theme as it transitions to a sequence where there is actually now said to be a glimpse of Palpatine inside of his throne room with his Sith loyalists by his side, where he appears to be walking slowly toward Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren. Palpatine is actually in the shot where he's actually said to be very mysterious, where the entire face is shadowy, however his full body can be seen, walking with a cane with his Sith loyalists by his side. Now, Palpatine is best described as frail in the moment, as if he is on the verge of death, however is still said to be very powerful mentally, where new dialogue of Palpatine is described to play over the shot, describing and dropping a line of dialogue related to the power of the Beyond, where it later cuts to Sidious destroying a large Star Destroyer that belongs to the First Order in space by using his new ability called Force Storm. Now, the destroyer splits into two as it falls down to the surface of Exegol, with dramatic music by Williams that plays over the shot, where the ship actually burns into the atmosphere. Later on, this is where we get a tease of Rey's journey in the upcoming footage in a strange temple of some kind, where there is a shot of her opening a strange box that holds a dagger inside that holds ancient Sith text on the hilt that glows in a gold color once Rey touches it. The shot focuses on Rey's hand touching the dagger, where dark side whispers can be heard in the background reaching out to Rey. It's explained to take place just near the entrance to this temple, where Poe, Finn, and others can be seen standing outside the entrance/exit to the temple. Lastly, it's noted that one of the shots involves a segment in which Rey is said to be sitting on the edge of a cliff in a Kyber crystal cave, where a blue Kyber crystal is floating in front of her, where the past voices of Anakin, Luke, Kenobi, Yoda, and Leia can be heard in the background, reaching out to Rey as well in the shot. A new John Williams Force theme plays over the sequence while Rey's eyes are said to be closed in the scene for the upcoming footage of the movie. Disney and Lucasfilm have a plan in place to also introduce many Easter eggs related to the prequels and originals in the upcoming trailer for fans to discover and pick out that will both be easy and difficult to discover in it. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, obviously, this month is a very important month for Disney and Lucasfilm to really get this movie's marketing down correctly. Again, like I say, we had a big gap in between, and that had all to do with the reshoots and Disney and Lucasfilm figuring out what in the world they're going to do with the ending of Episode 9 and how everything is going to flow, everything related to George Lucas and his involvement with the movie, etc., etc. So this trailer, this international trailer, is going to be very revealing. Also, the TV spots that come before it and after it are also going to be very revealing as well. Just yesterday, we got the first TV spot, by the way, that had new footage related to Darth Vader's helmet, the world of Kijimi, the lightsaber duel, a tease of Palpatine's laugh, stuff around those lines. Now, the one piece that I do want to go over in this particular scenario is the one where we have both Rey and Kylo Ren fighting on the world of Kijimi. Now, this fight is actually said to be very different than any other lightsaber duel that we have ever seen. It's said to be a flash fight. So this flash fight is basically evolving the concept of a force bond where you have both Rey and Kylo Ren in different locations, having the ability to fight each other through space and time. Essentially, Kylo Ren is really on his Ravager Star Destroyer and Rey is really on the world of Kijimi, but they're both fighting each other on Kijimi, if that makes sense. So, as all of this happens, they're actually fighting up a set of stone steps that actually leads to the Thieves' Tower. Now, the Thieves' Tower, in case you guys did not know, is once again going to be a castle-like structure that appears in The Rise of Skywalker that is going to be somewhat like Maz Kanata's castle. That's actually the home of many different smugglers and pirates and everything around those lines, and even holds a lot of ancient Sith lore as well. And what I like about this, though, on the world of Kijimi, is that they actually said that the environment, the set designers, were inspired by Game of Thrones. Now, there's something about Disney and Lucasfilm I really can't quite understand exactly what their obsession is with combining elements of Game of Thrones to Star Wars, but in certain cases it does work. It does work at times, but there are times where it just does not work. My point of view here, what does work is, of course, the castle structure. I like that. This particular scenario that's based off of a set design on Game of Thrones, how they're basically fighting on these set of stone steps that lead up to the castle. It's very medieval the way it sounds, between Rey and Kylo, as if they are fighting each other to the death in front of a large castle, which is what's happening, but they're not really there. And that's a very interesting take by J.J. Abrams, the fact that they are evolving the Force in different ways than ever before, and how they're really trying their very best in order to really throw in as much lightsaber action into this movie as possible. Now, I want to go over the other part that I think is going to be quite controversial to some fans in the first and second acts of this film, is Palpatine. Now, Palpatine is said to be very frail in the upcoming footage of Episode 9, as if he's on the verge of death. So, if you guys are going into this film, hoping that Palpatine is going to have a lot of action from start to finish, that's not going to be the case, unfortunately. That's only in the third act. In the first and second acts of the film, Palpatine is basically going to be dying, literally about to die, and that's exactly why he needs the Force Conduit technique to work to its full capacity by getting Rey and Kylo Ren in the same exact environment or close proximity to him, right? So, it's an interesting story. It really is. The fact that Palpatine is on the verge of death, I think is very interesting. I know some of you guys out there are not going to like that, and that is perfectly understandable. I get that. But at the end of the day, when we look at Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith or Return of the Jedi, we never really had a lot of Palpatine action to begin with, per se. If you look at the film in its entirety. So in this movie, we are getting a lot of Palpatine from the very start, except it's not going to be Palpatine in action quite, in that sense. It's going to be Palpatine pulling the strings and really manipulating Kylo Ren and playing this game in order to really gain power and to become in a more youthful state. And that, to me, I think is the more exciting thing about Palpatine in the very beginning of the film, is the lead-up, right? The lead-up to how he's going to rejuvenate himself and become younger, or at least rejuvenated, to the point where he's able to fight Rey and Kylo Ren effortlessly, within his throne room. So you can see that's exactly what JJ wants to do. He wants to show us Palpatine's flaws. He wants to show us Palpatine's strengths and weaknesses in this movie. And a large chunk of this movie is going to have to deal with Palpatine's weakness, because he survived the fall of the second Death Star and has been alive ever since. He is well over 100 years old. Who knows how old he really is right now, but he is well over 100 years old. You can only imagine how frail this man really is going to be in Episode 9, and how different he may very well look when he's actually on the verge of death in Episode 9. That's going to be a very interesting design. There's actually said to be two different versions of Palpatine in the movie. There's one where he's going to have a massive change in his appearance when he's actually frail and dying. Then he's going to actually have a more truthful appearance to how he looked in Revenge of the Sith. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night and moon, we hear them moans again.